Hello, welcome to the Hockey Show. My name is Roy Bellamy. Along with me is David Dwork of the Hockey News. The Florida Panthers defeated the Edmonton Oilers 4-3 to take a 3-0 series lead in the Stanley Cup Final.
Oh my God.
I said that out loud.
Oh man.
I cannot believe I just said that. We got
It's
Jordan
real.
McPherson of the Miami Herald. He's going to join us, and we are going to talk about the game right now. So yeah, that was interesting, especially that third period, because I mean that was not normal for third period for the Florida Panthers. They gave up several goals in that one, and the Oilers made that one a close one. We're gonna go over this game right now with Jordan. Jordan, thank you for joining us. All right, let's talk about Alexander Barkov because I still think that he was the reason why the Panthers left town on Wednesday and almost missed tonight's game. But yeah, dealing with his injury, but he looked good in practice yesterday, and he looked like Alexander Barkov in this game. Jordan, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't tell me that Barkov got hurt in game 2, I probably wouldn't have noticed considering how well he played tonight. I mean, just that entire sequence for that first goal in 4-on-4, poke checking it away from the defenseman, going down the ice, shoving Bouchard out of the way, and getting enough space to be able to make the pass to Gus. That was quintessential Barkov. And then scoring what became the eventual game winner in the second period to put him up 4-1. It was an all-around solid effort from their captain. It was a performance they needed. And yeah, Barkov came up as clutch as he probably could. And I mean, we've been seeing this all playoffs from him. 21 points in the postseason so far, 7 goals, 14 assists. It was another multi-point effort for him. Just Barkov being Barkov in simplest terms.
You're leading me right into where I wanted to go next, Jordan. And that is Sasha Barkov now probably the Conn Smythe favorite? I feel like it was going Bob for a while. But I think the combination of Barkov's offensive production and the way he's impacting the game on both ends of the ice, I feel like I'm starting to get a little bit more of a Barkov edge. What do you think?
Oh, I mean, I feel like as of right now, it's probably a coin flip between Barkov and Bob, just because you can't ignore the fact that Bob has a .953 save percentage through 3 games against Edmonton. 32 save shutout in game 1. Gave up the goal in the first shot in game 2 on the little fluky thing that got dribbled past him 5-hole. And then he goes 32 for 35 today. And frankly, with those, one of those was a breakaway. That was a breakdown from the Panthers in the offensive zone, the second period. And then one goal bounces off Nikola's shoulder and past him. And then the other's a deflection in. So Bob gives up 3 goals, but Bob still played really well. Bob, again, 13 saves in the first period. He had that big stretch where he had to do exactly what he's done all playoffs. Bob has done so much, carrying the team on his back so much this year. I mean, again, that shutout in game 1, Florida really didn't have much business winning game 1, and they probably wouldn't have if Bob wasn't as good as he was. So you can make the argument either way. It's going to be interesting to see how the voting goes out, but I feel like one way or the other is going to be one of those two.
We said coming into this one that the Panthers needed to stay out of the penalty box, and all throughout the season, the Panthers, after the whistle, the only time you've ever seen them get into scrums is when the opponent touches Bob. That's what happened. That led to the 4-on-4. That big scrum led to a 4-on-4 situation, and Sam Reinhart took advantage of that one and gave the Panthers the outright lead in this one. But the special teams in this game, there were 3 power plays for the Oilers and 1 for the Panthers, I believe. And the penalty killers for the Panthers shut them down. What do you think about the special teams, Jordan?
Yeah, I mean, power play's been doing it all series. They're now they were 10 for 10 through 3 games.
Yep.
To do that against Edmonton, that's pretty good. But again, we've known Florida's penalty kill has been fantastic all year. They knew how important it was going to be to beef that up going into the season. That's why Bill Zito brought in Dmitry Kulikov. That's why he brought in Nico Mikkola. That's why he brought in Kevin Stenlund. And then you see the growth from Reinhart. And again, Barkov wasn't on the ice for the first PK. Barkov was in the box for the delay of game.
Yeah.
And again, they've been going through a lot of these penalty kills without some of their big guys. Gus has been in the box once or twice. Stenlund was in the box once in one of the earlier games. They've been figuring out with their other pieces. I mean, Anton Lundell fits in as their 5th forward on the PK when one of their top 4 isn't in. And they just have the pieces where they can rotate guys around. And again, I go back to game one where the first PK, Paul Maurice was confident enough that he put Kevin Stanley and Netu Lucian up first instead of Barkov Reinhart. That just shows you how confident they are with that duo on the PK, that they don't have to immediately go to Barkov and Reinhart to try to shut down McDavid, Draisaitl and company.
Speaking of shutting down the Edmonton scoring conglomerate, which has been done pretty well to this point, a lot of talk in this final, Jordan, as the Panthers get on the national stage, has been about Gus Forsling. I think they actually dropped it on the broadcast tonight. They called him the best defensive player in the league, which just kind of shows you how far we've come with the exposure, right? But to this point, I'm pretty sure 12 points plus 15 through 20 games of the postseason right now for Forsling. It's been a bit of a coming out party for him, but just how impressive has it been from your perspective? You've been watching this team as long as I have, just to see not only the consistency, but how he's kind of brought his game to another level to defend these amazing players during the playoffs and done it so well and so consistently.
I mean, I'll say this. I think the Florida Panthers are kind of ecstatic that they signed him to the contract extension when they did.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's been otherworldly. I mean, like you said, 4 goals, 8 assists, the plus 15. He was plus 56 or whatever it was during the regular season. He's just watching his evolution since he got here, since the Panthers claimed him off waivers. As a reminder of that, just it's been outstanding watching how he's evolved into one of the top, if not the top defensive defenseman in the NHL. I mean, if the Norris Trophy was more about the defensive effort, which I argue it should be, than just the defensemen who put up, than the defensemen who are on the top pair who put up a bunch of points, Gus would, or at least should, win in a landslide. He's not going to, because again, they're going to look at the Quinn Hugheses, the Roman Yossi's, et cetera, et cetera. But Gus Forsling is if he isn't, he should be a household name just based off how he plays. He has that combination of his speed, his stick work, and just the mental acuity to know where he is and know where he needs to be. It seems like no matter what, even if he's out of place, it seems like he finds a way to quickly correct and be able to make the play even when out of position. It's just every time I look around and see a play happening on defense, it feels like it's Gus. And it's just, and normally with defensemen, it's you're noticing when things aren't going right. With him, it's you're seeing everything when it is happening and when he is doing what he's supposed to be doing.
The Panthers Sport Checking broke this game open in the second period. They scored 3. Vladimir Tarasenko, Sam Bennett, and Alexander Barkov on a breakaway, on a 2-on-1 break, I should say. Talk about this team's forechecking, and because normally in the third period, that's shut down city. Somehow the Oilers ended up coming back in this game and made it a 1-goal game, but normally that's shut down city, and that's what it looked like in the second period when they broke it open.
Yeah, no, that second period was huge. I mean, to get 3 goals in, I think it was like about a 6-minute span. I mean, Tarasenko just took complete advantage of Skinner being out of position. Again, that was a great work there. He was trying to make a play on the puck, wasn't in place. Etu gets the puck right to Tarasenko. Tarasenko lights it up. Bennett scoring off the feed from Tkachuk. Again, the two Calgary guys scoring on, setting up the play to get a goal against Edmonton. That had to feel good for both of them. And then Barkov being Barkov. Again, the 2-on-1 with him with Erod was, again, and Sam Reinhart setting up the play with the long stretch pass for the breakout. That was also, again, to see all that and to go with the forechecking. That's been their MO basically all year. It's their defense leads into their offense. They're not going out there to generate everything just for the sake of generating and cheating the game, what have you, however you want to phrase it. But again, the Panthers know if their defense is strong, eventually it will lead to getting the right opportunities and capitalizing on those right opportunities. We've seen that all season, and the Panthers purposely built that style so that once they get into the playoffs, they're basically just playing the same game. That's been what Paul Maurice has been trying to preach for the last 2 years. We saw last year, it took them a little bit to adjust to get there, but once they got there and got to their peak, they were able to do what they needed to do to get to the Cup final. And this year was just more of the same, just building off of what they started last year.
Now, a guy who I think maybe isn't getting mentioned as much as he should, just for the positive impact that he's having on these playoffs, and I feel like it's no surprise at all, is Sam Bennett. I mean, we know how imperative this guy is to how the Panthers play. And really, he, maybe more than anybody on the team, personifies the way that they want to play, with the speed, with the aggression, with the physicality. But he's now scored in 4 of his past 6 games. He's at 13 points in 14 games during the postseason, and his defensive play has been just as good as his offensive production. I don't even know what my question is. I just wanted to talk a little bit about Sam Bennett, and just kind of appreciate how well he's playing. Like, if you want to just chime in, Jordan, how much have you been impressed by Sam Bennett?
Yeah, Sam Bennett's, again, there are a lot of players that are fun to watch on this team. He's probably one of my favorites just because, again, he doesn't get as much love or what have you as Barkov will, as Reinhart does, as Tkachuk does, as Verhaeghe does. But he makes everything sort of fit in terms of the puzzle of figuring out this Panthers team. Again, him being able to be that anchor on the second line with Tkachuk and Verhaeghe on the wings, it allows Anton Lundell, who could easily be a second line center, as we've seen when Bennett was out. It allows Anton Lundell to be on the third line and give them three solid scoring potential, high quality lines. And his defense, his grit, his tenacity, insert the adjective you want here. It all plays out into, as you said, and Paul Maurice says so many times, he's the quintessential identity player of the Florida Panthers. Even if he doesn't get as much love nationally or get as much of the limelight, what he does is exactly what the Panthers want so many of their players to emulate. And it comes out and it thrives. His style of play thrives in the playoffs. And Sam Bennett has been doing everything the Panthers needed more, including leading them in the playoff beer department, without a doubt.
Yeah. He's gonna keep that one for a while. I mean,
him and Aaron Ekblad are just like killing it.
Yeah, absolutely. That facial hair is all the way out to like here. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, Bennett's got like the mustache flavor that goes with his beard. Like it's
he's got the flavor of a lot of food in that beard.
Yeah. The joke I make is basically he looks like the Lorax if the Lorax was ever a hockey player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
I'm just gonna give some of the stats of the Oilers here. They're big time players here. Connor McDavid had 2 assists, 5 shots on goal. Leon Draisaitl 3 shots on goal. Zach Hyman 3 shots on goal. Evan Bouchard 6 shots on goal on 12 attempts. He was firing that puck, and he hurt a lot of the Panthers who were trying to block his shots. Outside of that, the big line, the big 3 actually, I should say, not all that great. Connor McDavid did have a factor in this one, though. But talk about the Oilers. This is the last.
Did we lose Roy?
I'm right here.
There's Roy.
There we go. Did you hear my question? Did I cut out in the middle?
You cut out like right at the start of the question.
Oh, wow. Okay, let me start that over again. So Connor McDavid, 2 assists.
We have the stuff about them. It was after you started rattling off the stats and cut off right after that.
Okay. Let's talk about the Oilers. This is their last gasp. What do they have to do in a couple of days?
They need their big guys to score and score early because, yes, they got 2 goals in the third period here, but the Panthers just find a way to just drain the soul out of you in the third period. And with this Oilers team, outside those top 2 lines, their depth scoring can't match the Panthers. It hasn't matched the Panthers. So if you're running McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, all their big guns as heavy as they have been through the first 3 games in the first 2 periods, by the time you get to period 3, they're basically out of gas. So it's getting to the point where if they don't execute early, which frankly they haven't, they're going to be in trouble.
All right, finally, this is it. This is the big one. Are we bringing brooms? Is this it?
Oh, you say bringing brooms because just so the viewers know, the 3 of us will all be on a flight in the next few hours to Edmonton. So we are definitely traveling. It's just a matter of what are we bringing with us?
Yeah. But in terms of, I'll be bringing whatever it takes to bring there. But I'll be honest, I thought they were going to lose today, win game 4 and win game 5. So the fact that they got past this, they got past the emotional push that Edmonton was going to have with their first home Stanley Cup final game since 2006, since being able to do everything they've been able to do, and knowing that if they didn't come out strong in game 3, they didn't win game 3, it was probably going to be it. I feel like feel like this is going to be it on Saturday. Obviously, it would be fantastic for the Panthers to win it all at home on home ice, but to be able to, for the Florida Panthers to be able to say, hey, we won the Stanley Cup final in Canada, and to be able to knock out the latest Canadian team's effort, for me, and I'm just going to say this, it's just because I covered the Marlins before the Panthers, it would honestly give me vibes of 2003 with the Marlins winning in New York. It would honestly feel very eerily similar to that a little more than 2 decades later.
Yes, that's exactly what I said in an interview with TSN Radio, that it feels like the 2003 Marlins. Like they ran through a gauntlet with the Giants and Cubs and then went in a Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like the same thing.
You remember when they had to win Game 6 and 7 on the road against Kerry Wood and Mark Pryor?
Yes.
Nobody had done that.
Yes.
And then they went to Yankee Stadium. Oh man, you guys, I'm definitely not sleeping tonight.
Well, I have to sleep tonight because we got the bird at 6:30 in the morning. We gotta wake up at 4 and get up out of here. Jordan McPherson, the Miami Herald, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, we'll be back with Rose. We're going to talk about her experience at a watch party, and we're going to take your questions and read your comments. Please, please do not use the N-word. We'll be back.
She didn't even have to ask that.
Hey, listen, let me tell you something. Sometimes these people are wild. We'll be back. Whew. Wow. I am sweating.
You all right?
Yeah, we had a little emergency with our flight booking. So that's why there was a bit of a delay, because if we didn't get this thing done, there was a good possibility that I would have probably ran out in the street angry, yelling at people in the middle of the
You
night.
would have broken another toilet.
Yeah, I would have broken another. Nobody knows about that, by the way. Yeah. So
My bad.
two stories now. I gotta actually say this now. So yesterday, before I went to Panthers practice,
Oh,
I slipped in the towel in the shower. I slipped in the shower. I was trying to reach for my towel, and the ornament that holds the towel rack, the towel bar that the towel hangs on, that it came out of the wall. It was shoddy construction from the previous owner, and down I went. And I went down. I went down hard. My left shin ended up hitting the toilet and completely knocked the toilet seat off. And I was thinking, you know what? I may have broken my shin
oh man.
about 3 days before a possible flight to Edmonton.
Dude, you came limping into the practice facility asking the trainers for ice.
Yeah.
True story. Roy
Yeah.
is sitting there with his leg up at the media availability, icing his leg.
Yeah, I know Carl Pozo was probably looking at me funny, like, hey, why is your pants leg up and you have an ice pack on your shin? What's going on? It wasn't as bad as the knee that E2 Lusterine took. But I can tell you that it did not feel good. Yeah, I could have really have broken my leg on Wednesday, but
Playing through it.
Yeah, I'm playing through it.
It's the playoffs.
Yeah, it's the playoffs. It's the Stanley Cup Final, and the Panthers so happen to be one game away from winning it. Yeah, so emergency situation with booking the flight. Apparently, the flight that I wanted was not available. Actually, no, I take that back. The flight that I wanted was $5,000 for myself.
That's a lot of money for one way.
$5,000 for one way. For one way. And yeah, and Kristen, who is booking my flights, said no. So
that's probably not the only word she used.
Yeah. Well, at the time, it was not $5,000.
No.
But apparently the Panthers win has officially shot that thing up to $5,000. So if you want to blame somebody, blame Alexander Barkov, because he's forced the airlines to price gouge.
I blame the Dallas Stars for all this, honestly.
Yeah, it's the Dallas Stars' fault. The Dallas Stars, if they had won the Western Conference Final, none of us would be going through this. This would be an easier flight. It would be a shorter flight, and everybody would be happily ever after. But not
still might be happily ever after.
Yeah,
still might be happily ever after. Just a more of a journey to get to this happy ending, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be a big time journey, flying over mountains, stopping off at 2 stops, I think. I gotta look at the confirmation again. All I know is it's gonna be an early flight. I'm gonna be tired. I'm gonna end up waking up 3 hours from now, and it is going to be an epic journey to get to what we hope is the Stanley Cup being lifted on the ice in Edmonton by the Florida Panthers. They can actually do this on Saturday. It seems like they took the soul away, Dave. Like they snatched their hearts right out of the chest.
I mean, can you blame them? They played a great game in game 1 and lost. Shutout.
Yeah.
Tonight, they're home. This is it. Like, they know, like, you've got to win game 3. You're not coming back. Nobody comes back from 3-0. Just doesn't happen. Florida, as you said, they've been playing shutdown city for like 2 games now. And yeah, I mean, Edmonton, credit to them, and gave their fans something to be excited about with the comeback. I mean, the shot was going wide, and it hit off Nico Mikkola's rib cage or backside or hip flexor or, something to deflect in the net. But I mean, that's basically what it takes to beat Bob right now. Yeah. So, getting back to what Jordan was saying, like, if you're Edmonton, you've got it. Credit to Chris Knobloch and that whatever they're going to have to do to get up for game 4. Because I mean, obviously Stanley Cup final, and obviously you're going to be up for it. But I mean, they were looking demoralized during game 3. Mm-hmm. Now I can imagine like it's going to be rough. And you and I were saying, like, look, we figured, as Jordan did, this was probably going to go like 5. You give Edmonton game 3 at home, kind of like the way the Panthers got game 3 at home last year against Vegas.
Yeah.
With Florida winning tonight, game 3, I had a hard time thinking that they're not gonna win game 4 now.
Yeah.
It's just like that the way that they play, the way that they like bear down, unless Edmonton jumps all over them early, which they have not been able to do. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's gonna be tough.
What do you think about the second line today? That's 19, 9, and 23. That would be Kachuk, Bennett, and Verhaeghe. I'm looking at the stats on 5-on-5. 12 minutes, 6 seconds. They took 10 shot attempts. They allowed 18 shot attempts. 5 reached goal for them. 12 reached goal for the Oilers. They gave up 3 goals. And the scoring chances were 12-4 in favor of the Oilers. It seemed like, I mean, I hate to say this, but I mean, Sam Bennett ended up scoring, but I hate to say this, but I don't know. Like, it seemed like it was a weak spot tonight.
Maybe a little bit. I think that line was matching up a bit with the Draisaitl line. I think the McDavid line, the Barkov line were kind of going at it a bit. Yeah, it's interesting, right? But you would expect the Oilers to get theirs. It's surprising when you tell me the high danger opportunities going each way. It's a little bit skewed, but yeah, I mean, I have been thinking. I wasn't even going to mention this tonight, to be honest, because I wanted to keep it like in a positive vibe. But you know, in terms of keeping it real, I honestly I've thought something's a little off with Matthew Tkachuk lately. Yeah. Like even in the Rangers series, and I don't know I don't know if he's injured because he's still like doing these really great plays with the puck, but it almost seems like there's like these brain farts that are coming up here and there, or
turnovers,
yeah, it's just not necessarily as like a little uncharacteristic to what we saw from him. So I'm not saying he's hurt or anything, but I don't know. It just seems like he's a little bit not quite as Chucky, and he's still scoring at a good clip. I mean, I think he's second or third in the team in points right now. He was leading them in points coming into the playoffs. So look, at the end of the day, Roy, the Edmonton Oilers are probably going to find ways to get theirs. You know, we heard Jordan talking about their secondary scoring. That's really been the base of their offense because, you know, the top guys are not putting the puck in the net. McDavid, I think, is 3 assists now. I don't think Draisaitl has an assist yet. I don't think he got an assist tonight, even though they mentioned that he did in the broadcast. Zach Hyman, you know, 50 goal scorer during the regular season. He has not scored in the series yet. So at the end of the day, if the second line is going to struggle a bit defensively, Bob's going to be back there for him. It's not ideal, not what you want to see, but yeah, I mean, there's going to be loose spots somewhere, right?
Yeah. We have questions from our viewers and listeners. Thomas has them, and we will read them right now. So Thomas, fire away with our first question. Please be nice. All right. The first question from Joey Noah. Is Roy growing a playoff beard?
Please be nice.
And I mean, we're already off to a rough start here. Yes, I'm trying. This is actually 3 months right here of growth.
Where are the most dense parts of the beard? It's in the chin area,
right in the
jawline.
The neck is very. There's a lot of knots and snappies. Very nappy. I need a comb. I think I got a comb somewhere around here. I got just like. It's just ridiculous. So yeah, I got.
Yeah, you like the Finnish guys on the team. Like I still maybe you're part Finnish.
I'm Anton Lundell. That's
you got like the E2 beard going.
Oh my goodness! I mean, I got the comb right here.
Oh man.
Yeah, and so yeah, I get a little. Look at this. It's stuck. Yeah. All right. We got another question here. This is from Sports. Switch the goalies. Who's winning? Yeah. If Sergei Bobrovsky was a Oiler and Stuart Skinner was a Panther, the difference
series goes 7.
Yeah, the series would go 7, but I think the Panthers might win out just based on their team defense. The team defense is much better than the Edmonton Oilers, and of course, the forechecking has been pretty much the story in this one. What about you, Dave?
No, I think if you switch the goalies, it's not going to be a sweep, obviously, but I agree with you. I think the Panthers still have a deeper team, and it's not like Stuart Skinner's been bad. Like, he's actually been quite solid the last couple of rounds. But Bob, you know, he stole that win in game 1. He was great tonight. He's been breakaway save after breakaway save. So yeah, I think if you switch the goalies, I say Panthers in 7.
Panthers in 7. Yes.
What the hell are you doing?
I'm still combing my beard.
Does that feel good?
No, it does not. Let's go to the next question, Thomas. Tabasco 24 says, LBS, did you get my question earlier? Block for your life, nurse.
Or Hockenpah?
Hockenpah. Oh my goodness. It might have to be Hockenpah because Nurse has not been playing well this series.
Nurses, he's hurt. He's struggling. What do they say? He's like minus 18 or some ridiculous number for the playoffs.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. My girl
Anastasia, I gotta look it up now.
My girl Anastasia Williams is asking me, Roy, will you pack/bring a broom? Now, here's the thing about these flights. They don't really allow stuff like that to be placed in your carry-on. It might be a weapon. So I think I had to buy that in Edmonton, and
they sell them up there
to the media entrance. Yeah, they sell those like
snow brooms or whatever.
Yeah, snow broom.
what are the car scrapers, right?
Yeah. Well, no, that's not going to get through the metal detector. Nagates, and no, that is probably not how you pronounce that. How do the Cats do such a good job keeping Bob's sightlines clear? So this is about the Panthers team defense getting in front of shooting lanes, getting in front of passing lanes, so Bob can see the puck from these long distance shots. And obviously, throughout the entire playoffs, these teams have been trying to screen Bob, right? So they just basically have to manhandle the forwards and get them out of the crease. Have they done a good job with that, Dave?
Yeah, Florida's physical defending is a big part of why they're so hard to play against. I mean, whether it's keeping the sightlines clear for Bob, taking away second and third chance opportunities, and as you can see on the penalty kill, like now they kind of let that guy just kind of wave around in front of Bob and let him find his sightlines a little bit there. So, there's just like with the 5-man defensive game, there's a lot of trust there. But the Panthers have their improved defensive play over the last season and a half. That's why Bob has been so much better than he was his first few years with the Panthers. It's because of how the Panthers defend now.
The other good thing is Sergei Bobrovsky has been doing very well with positional saves. So he has been in front of the puck when it's been deflected. And those are the type of shots that, give up big time rebounds and give up second chances. But the Panthers defense have been there to clear those rebounds and clean things up when Bob hasn't seen the puck, but has been able to put his body in front of it despite that. Let's go to another question, Thomas. Caleb Brown is asking, is Bob standing on his head still after this game? And quite frankly, I think he might be walking on his hands out of the arena. That's how good he was tonight. Well, aside from the third period, obviously. But he's been good all series. And I think he's like breakdancing. He might be spinning on his head, on like cardboard, like they used to do in the 80s, So he's probably still standing on his head. Let's go to another question, Thomas. Renee is asking, will Roy cry if they win?
It's a good question.
No. Let's go to another question. Anastasia is asking another one. Where would the parade route be in Sunrise, Miami proper, or on boats? That is an excellent question. We probably won't get the parade route until the day after, maybe 2 days after the Panthers win the Stanley Cup. So wherever it will be, we hope to be there. Hopefully, either on a float or a boat. Yeah.
From what I've kind of heard is like while there primarily will be something in Broward, there might also be in Dade. If Miami-Dade wants to do something with the Panthers, they may very well do something in 2 counties. So that's something to keep an eye out, as well as the potential boat thing. Somebody did a boat parade once before down here. Was it the Marlins all the way back in 2003, or did the Heat do something during their run? Somebody did a boat parade. I can't remember who.
I don't remember a boat parade. The last boat parade I heard about,
or it's like something
Buccaneers.
Involving boats. No, it was something involving boats. I'll look it up because we were talking about it recently with the media guys. But I know I've never gone to a sports parade. Have you?
Yeah, I went to the 2003 parade. The
Marlins.
Yeah, the Marlins. Did I
Yeah,
go
of course
to
the
the Heat?
Marlins.
I think I went to the '06 parade with the Heat. I think.
Do you have like pots and pans with you, or what was that like?
No pots and pans with me. No, it was just me and me buying one of those street hot dogs, street sausage sandwiches. Those were a lot better than the ones that we got in New York, based on the onion situation. Those onions that we got on those hot dogs in New York,
That was
not good.
terrible.
It was
They
what? It was
drenched them.
marinated. It was yeah, it was
Yeah.
marinated in like
Weird.
tomato, right?
Very
It,
weird.
it was bad. It was bad. Let's go to the next question there, Thomas. White is right, and I had to question that one. How sweet was it to watch all those Edmonton fans pay thousands to watch the Oil lose? It was pretty it was pretty funny watching the Oilers fans get up out of seats and leave. That's people like to complain about the South Florida fans doing that. Obviously, the most famous of that would be when Ray Allen hit that shot to tie Game 6, Heat Spurs.
That was awesome.
But yeah, that was awesome. But yeah, that was really interesting seeing the Canadian fan base quit on their team and leaving, despite the fact that they came back and made it a 1-goal game.
Yeah, I wonder if they were trying to get back in. We didn't see any camera shots of those. Well, you know what? They probably went outside and watched that giant watch party outside. So they probably just kind of sidled their way in there.
Oh yeah, they went to the moss pit. Yeah.
Whatever. That's crazy. There's so many people.
They're
gonna have to go to the arena pretty early to avoid that.
Yeah. By the way, I saw shots of the crowd at Amerant Bank Arena inside.
That was cool.
That's filled. It was filled. It was completely filled. And
I think George said that they sold out the whole lower level. They had to open the upper deck for a watch party.
Great. That is great.
They must have been having fun. I think I saw our buddy DJ Genesis was out there, and Andrew was there, doing all the PA stuff, pumping up the crowd. So I'm sure it was pretty cool.
Sets. Yeah, that's very good. That's very good. No one went away. Let's take one more question, and then we are going to bed so we can wake up early for this flight.
Oh my God.
Gabriel Garcia says, Roy, take a bow. I'm watching puck because of your cats.
Welcome to the best sport, Gabriel.
Yeah,
glad to have you.
The greatest sport, especially during playoff time, that you will ever see. And this team, man, it's the greatest team in franchise history. They made that evidently clear after Game 2, when they officially made that their title. Now they're one win away from a Stanley Cup championship. And I've waited 30 years out of my 40 years on this earth. I mean, wow. So 5 straight playoff appearances after 10 before in the previous 25 years.
Before this run, they made the playoffs 5 times in 25 years?
Yeah, 5 times in 25
96,
years.
97, 2000, 2012, 2016. Not that anybody's counting or anything.
No, exactly.
April 17th, 1997. Not that anybody had that date circled on their calendar for over a decade.
That's right.
No, none of that, right?
No. I mean, they should have beat the Devils in Game 7. Trocheck was stripped. I mean, we got bad memories of this,
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, Roy, that's a good question. I feel like I know the answer, but I'm gonna go ahead and leave this one to you.
The Gates, and I may have butchered that pronunciation, is asking, what's the celebration drink of choice on Saturday? And the answer to that question is yes. David Jork of the Hockey News, Roy Bellamy, we are hoping, as Dust_I says, Dust_I says, bring home the cup, boys. We're going to try. We are going to try. The next time we will talk to you will be on Saturday. Live from, maybe not live from Edmonton, but up north, the Great White North, America's hat in Edmonton, Alberta. I'm Roy Bellamy. That's David Jork. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and we will see you in a couple of days.